Before you try to change your body, before you try to change your habits, before you try to change your appetite, you have to meet the woman that you are remembering, AKA becoming, because you cannot become a woman you have never met. So today, I want to introduce you to her. After working with women through faith, health, and identity shifts, patterns become obvious, and most people miss them. I'm Coach Kofia. Here, we name the pattern and we change the movement. Welcome to the Whole Healed You. Most women are trying to discipline a version of themselves that was never designed to live a life that they desire. And because of that, consistency feels hard, movement feels hard, rest feels hard, not because you lack willpower, but because you're living from an outdated identity. Your body does not resist change. It resists misalignment. Here's the truth that most women don't want to hear. Your body doesn't change when you force discipline. Your body changes when you shift your identity. Discipline without identity creates burnout. Habits without identity collapse under stress. Plans without identity require constant effort. Identity is what makes things feel natural. You don't wake up every day forcing yourself to brush your teeth. Why? Because that's not a habit you negotiate. It's part of who you are. That's how health is supposed to feel, a part of who you are. You don't eat like the woman that you're becoming because you don't know her yet. You don't move like her. You don't think like her. You don't respond to stress like her. You don't speak to your body the way she does. So what happens? You keep trying to drag the old version of you into new results. And every time you fail, you assume that the problem is discipline. It's not. The problem is clarity. There was a season where I loved God so deeply, but my body still felt chaotic, disconnected. My appetite felt unpredictable. My energy came in waves up and down. My discipline worked until it didn't. And I remember the moment so clearly when I felt like the Lord made something super plain to me. You are trying to live a rhythm your identity has not fully accepted yet. It wasn't that I wasn't lazy. I wasn't undisciplined. I just hadn't met the woman I was trying to become. Okay? So pause with me for just a moment. Take in a slow breath and let it out. Now I want you to imagine the healthiest, the most aligned version of you. Not the smallest, not the most impressive version, not the version of you that you post online, the version of you that feels settled. What does her face look like? What is in her eyes? How does she walk into a room? Is she rushed or is she rooted? What peace does she carry? Without even trying to prove anything. That woman is not imaginary. She is a spiritual memory, and your body recognizes her even if your habits haven't caught up yet. Here's the shift that changes everything. You don't become her through effort. You remember her through your alignment. Scripture tells us we are transformed by the renewing of our mind, but renewal doesn't start with behavior. It starts with vision. If you can't see her clearly, you can't follow her consistently. That is why I created a 100-question identity transformation workbook, not a checklist, not a surface level journaling. This is not motivational fluff. This is a mirror. It walks you through 8 areas of the woman God designed you to be: her morning rhythm, her food identity, her movement, her body relationship, her money, health, stewardship, her emotional regulation, her spiritual rhythm, her relationships, and her future self actions. Because health isn't one decision. Okay. Health is a way of being. It is a rhythm. Okay. Rhythm of health. Most women don't struggle because they lack information. It's available. It's everywhere. They struggle because they lack clarity. And clarity comes from asking better questions. It doesn't come from why can't I stick to this? But it comes from, who am I when I'm healthy? What does she believe? What does she do automatically? What does she no longer tolerate? Identity reveals your behavior. Let me give you just a taste. Okay, here's some questions. What does she eat for breakfast most days and why? What does she say to herself before she eats? How does she move her body when she is stressed, not when she's motivated? What foods make her feel grounded instead of guilty? What scriptures anchor her health when her emotions rise? What habits protect her peace even on chaotic days? How does she hear God through her body? These questions don't pressure you, they clarify you. And here's the part that most women avoid, and I know you're not going to, but once you meet her clearly, you'll begin to see the gap, not a shame gap, an assignment gap. That is the space between who you are now and who God has shown you. That gap isn't proof of failure. It's proof of direction. That gap reveals your next rhythm. You don't need to change everything today. Should not be the goal. You don't need to force yourself into perfection. You simply need to bring one daily rhythm into alignment with the woman that you meet. Identity shifts gently but consistently. And when your identity shifts, your body follows. In the coming seasons and sessions, we're going to talk about how your identity moves into your body, into breath, into posture, into nervous system regulation, into rhythm, because embodiment is where your identity begins to stick. But today begins with clarity. If this resonated with you, if something stirred, go download the full workbook. 100 questions designed to help you remember the woman you were always meant to be. And if you want to go deeper, I've created a full 90-minute identity workshop where we walk through every single question together, slowly, intentionally, and prayerfully. The link for both is below. Your future self is waiting to be remembered. I am not here to convince you of anything. I'm here to help you recognize what's already there. You're more capable than you've been allowing yourself to be. And as soon as you see that clearly, everything about how you move begins to change.